What's up, guys, and welcome back to the channel, and it's finally here. Thanks for 15,000 subscribers. We're closer to 15.1 now, so subscribe, because we do more dumb shit like this when we reach milestones on the channel. So yeah, if you want to see more stuff like this, 20k, I don't know, top comment, I'll do it 20k subs. But this is what happens when you guys subscribe. I reward you with stupidity like this. The UFC prison hierarchy tier list. I've promised this video for months, and you guys have been waiting for about a week because we hit 15k probably about this time last week, and I just couldn't do it because I wanted to get all my 317 content out of the way, so I put it on the back burner for a bit. But I told you guys I would deliver. You know, and just like a midwife, I delivered. So, you know, that's what we're doing. We're doing the prison hierarchy tier list. This video is going to take a while, hopefully not. I'll try and keep it under... Set the betting lines in the comments. Over, under, how many minutes do you reckon this video is going to be? Or you've already seen it, but you've watched because you've seen the fucking length of it. But, you know, I'm thinking, I haven't started recording yet, or I'm mid-recording. I'm thinking we're looking at about 35-40 minutes. So... we'll see what happens, but yeah, as you can see, we got 7 tiers here. Normally I'll do 5 or 6. This one deserves 7 tiers. As you can see at the top, we got enforcement, then we got the clan, we then have the Russians / Europeans. So for those retards in the comments nitpicking, saying, this is Polish, I don't care, I'm just talking about Europeans. Then we got the cartel. Then we got Hood 1, we got Hood 2, and then down the bottom we got the victims. So yeah, I don't even know what I'm doing with this shit. I didn't know how to approach this video. Hope you guys enjoyed the thumbnail as well. Just want to let it be known I've cemented myself as the best thumbnail maker on MMA YouTube with this video. Anarchy's a close second, shout out to him, but no one comes close to this level of production. Anyway, let's get started. Starting off in the top tier, front and center in the thumbnail, Officer Joe Pyfer. This man fits the bill of a prison guard perfectly. Now, I know Bedtime kind of came up with the Bedtime / his chat, because I think it's actually his chat that comes up with half the video, half the jokes before him, or his comment section, I should say. But, you know, Bedtime's YouTube channel as a whole kind of came up with the Officer Joe Pyfer meme. That's accurate. I'm saying Joe Pyfer as a prison guard is even more accurate than a police officer, because prison guards are just well renowned to be cunts. Like, so are police officers. They're not good people. Like, none of them, not none of them, but most of them are terrible humans. Prison guards are the most, like, power hungry, salty, unhappy with their lives individuals ever. Like, you'll find some police officers that enjoy their job. I don't think you find a prison guard that is actually happy in their fucking life. These guys are miserable, and they just have hatred towards the world, and they have hatred to take out on other people. And Joe Pyfer fits that bill to a T. If this man was not fighting, I am guaranteeing you he is the sheriff in a prison, or whatever the fuck. He's the prison warden, county, I don't fucking know. But this kid is dishing out some beatings on random prisoners, putting him in solitary, sending him to the hole, you know, no food for you, no yard time for you. He's just dealing out all the punishments. No one is having fun in prison with Officer Joe, monitoring the walls, or the cells, I should say. Anyway, let's move on to the next tier. Next tier, we got Andreas Gustafsson. If you don't know, now you know. Kid's got an interesting past. What's the question? Gustafsson? Tattoos? Neo-Nazi? I don't fucking know, kid. That's a question for Tuesday. You know, I can't control what the kid does, but I think he's a scumbag. And I'm totally not being told to say this by the higher-ups, because my company's owned by a bunch of Jews. Ask Dana at the press conference. No, but Andreas Gustafsson, if you know, you know. This man fits the bill of what would be a white supremacist neo-Nazi in prison. So respect, you know, big ups. Anyway, let's move on to the next tier. I already know there's gonna be the comment, like 90% of you are gonna love this video. There's gonna be 10% of people to be like, bro, Lifeline's just trying to be edgy, dude. I'm like, bro, it's not even trying to be edgy. It's just funny, dude. Like, this is just, I find this funny. I'm not trying to be edgy. This is just like, to me, I find these jokes, bro. Andreas Gustafsson is for sure fits the bill. Anyway, let's move on. Next up, we got Sergey Pavlovich. Now, I was considering putting Pavlovich as like an enforcement, like prison warden, because I could see him being a guard as well. But I can also see Pavlovich just being the big ass henchman fucking dude that's just like sitting at the table, big jacked motherfucker, like someone starts shit, Pavlovich is up there, you know. Maybe he's not actually the boss of the group, of like the European group, but he's like the muscle. He's the enforcement behind the Euro gang in prison or some shit. I don't know. I'm yapping for half of this. So if you're expecting like justifications of like these people were in prison, this is not a video of fighters who were in prison. I've already done that. I've already done a UFC criminals tier list, and I'm gonna do a UFC fighters that I would trust to commit crimes with tier list as well. So we're big on breaking the law on this channel, and all things justice system. I did a UFC fighters that I would trust as lawyers. Like, I'm big on everything law, crime, justice, all that shit. Yeah, I did that shit in like year 10. I got 100% on my making and breaking the law. That was the subject name. I don't know why, but I got 100% on the exam. I was not a nerd. The subject was just really easy. But yeah, Sergey Pavlovich, let's put him in the tier list. Let's move on to the next fighter. Next up, Diego Lopez. He's going in the cartel section. You know, each prison is massively segregated. You know, prisons are very segregated for the most part, from what I understand. At least that's what most of the shows I've watched tell me. So if anyone watching this video has been to prison, or had anyone who's been to prison that they know personally, let me know. Is there any like diversity of groups in prison? Like, have they eliminated some of the racism, or is it still just like, you know, the whites on this table, the blacks on this table, the Spanish on this table, and the fags on this table? I don't know what they're doing, but there's lots of, not much diversity in terms of like the mixing and matching of groups. So I'm thinking like a Diego Lopez fits in with the cartel kind of section. You know, the Mexicans, they got to stick together because like they're all like 5'6", so Lopez will probably be like the biggest one amongst them. You don't see a Mexican above 6 foot. It's unbelievably rare. I'm convinced if you see a Mexican above 6 foot, they're not Mexican. Like, DNA check them, they're something else. Anyway, though, let's move on. Next up, Bobby Green. Hood. Yeah, I don't know. Bobby Green wants us to think that he's like the most hood person ever. It's like, you're not King Von. You just wear a... This dude showed up to the UFC 291 presser wearing a fucking bulletproof vest. I'm like, what are you doing? You're not about that life. Like, shut up. Now, if I could be fucked doing the research, I would have actually split this into people who were from, like, predominantly blood and then predominantly Crip areas, or from red and blue, whatever, or east or west, whatever. I can't be fucked, so I'm just splitting them based on vibes. Again, I could be way off, but yeah, I don't know. Bobby Green. I had to do 2 tier lists for the blacks, because, you know, there's just a disproportionate amount. 13%, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you, kid. These guys are 13% of the population. They commit 50% of the violent crimes. That's badass. Nobody commits crimes like... Alright, let's move on. Next up, Leon Edwards. Bruv. I didn't shoot him, bruv. I was sleepy. Leon Edwards. Yeah, headshot dead, bruv. Leon Edwards is just gonna be like in prison just saying headshot dead a bunch. Someone's gonna press Leon. He's gonna start... You can't see me right now. I'm not recording face, obviously. Blessing for you guys. But like, Leon's just gonna be spamming the little fucking headshot gun emoji fucking emote bullshit that he does. And just saying headshot dead a bunch. People are gonna think he's got fucking Tourette's or something. I don't know what this kid's doing. Leon Edwards would probably get himself bashed in prison, not gonna lie. Like, if we're okay, this is what I'm saying. If we're disregarding these people as fighters, because the guys in the victim tier, you're gonna be like, what do you mean, bro? They're obviously fighters. They're not gonna get B victims. I'm thinking like their personality and like the energy they give off. If not for the fact that they were professional fighters, the people in the tier list would probably be victims. Like, Leon Edwards, if he wasn't good at martial arts, is a very victim-like kind of guy, I feel like. Like, he gets bullied easily in martial arts. So imagine if he didn't even have any skill. Like, this kid's getting shoved into a locker. Anyway, let me tell you. Let's move on, though. Final person to discuss in the first row is Peyton Talbot. Yeah, Peyton Talbot, fighting or not fighting, this man's a victim. Like, this is gonna sound extremely fucking weird. Like, no diddy. But, like, this dude's getting his cheeks took in prison if he ever goes there. Like, he needs to stick to fucking grappling with Frank Ocean, because this man cannot commit a crime, because otherwise he's cooked. He probably... Okay, I'm going too far with this, but I'm just saying, Talbot might try and end up in jail. That's all I'm saying. Like, let me tell you. Talbot? Yeah. Prison? What do I think? I think the kid's gonna have a fucking great time. This is why am I doing this video, but I'm gonna say so much weird shit. Anyway, let's move on. Next up, Tommy Aspinall. Aspinall is for sure a prison warden. He's not like one of the, I don't think he'd be like a guard, but he'd be like the warden or something. Like he wouldn't be doing any like real heavy work. He's kind of just there, just tormenting people. He's like, "Hello, John. You're looking." I don't know. I can't do it. The only Aspinall thing I can do is just say, "Hello, John. You got a cup of bicarbonate soda." That's all I can do from Aspinall, and then I immediately turn into like a Connor impression somehow. So I'm not gonna try, but you know what I mean. Like Aspinall, he's a great fight. I'd love to fight him. Aspinall's just gonna be like tormenting John Jones the whole time. Like he would make Jones his personal fucking torture case of just like making his life miserable, you know. Aspinall will do. He's such a like he's the perfect personality to just be a scumbag and just like mentally and physically abuse prisoners. Anyway, let's move on. Next up, Sean Strickland. Here's the fucking thing, guys. Strickland, I'm surprised he's not in jail. I genuinely think once this guy retires, he's gonna like commit a violent crime and actually get arrested. I genuinely think the only thing keeping this dude out of jail is the fact he's an active UFC fighter and he's literally just got immunity. Like same with John Jones. If John Jones was not a UFC fighter and doing the same shit he's doing, this man's in prison, federal fucking prison. Like Sean Strickland, once he's done with this, like, hey, we'll kind of let it slide and no, nothing's gonna happen because you know you're just a UFC fighter, whatever. It goes viral on social media, so everyone just forgets that he's committing a felony. Strickland is for sure going to spend time in prison at some point. And when he does, yeah, you already know him and Gustafsson are best friends. Anyway, let's move on. Next up, we got Azamat Murzakanov. Does Azamat Murzakanov not just look like a Russian, like, prison henchman? Or some shit? Like, is that not the vibe you get? Like, he gives you kind of Uber driver vibes, like, when he's looking more chill, but, like, you could also see this dude in a jumpsuit. Like, someone use that Grok AI thing. I'm not going to do it because my editing skills are shit. But, like, and I wouldn't be able to overlay it into this video. But, like, someone fucking create, like, AI of some of these guys in prison. I'm telling you, bro. Like, I'm on here. Like, Murzakanov is for sure some, like, henchman-y type. Similar with Pavlich, just muscle. And then, like, the guy who's actually running shit isn't the real big guy there. But it's, like, these like, the Russians are just, like, the little henchman guy. Not little, but, like, the henchman type, you know? That's just the vibe I get. Anyway, let's move on. Next up, Edgar Chairez. Edgar Chairez was a part of the Cartel. This kid was a lawyer for the Cartel. So he might snitch. He ends up in jail. Who knows? I don't know. Someone snitches on him. But, yeah, Chairez, Cartel, fits the bill. Anyway, I need to skim through some of this, because if you guys don't know, this entire 7-row tier list with 8 wide, it can fit 8 fighters in tier list. Yeah, I'm filling the entire fucking thing. We're talking about 56 fighters in this video, so I need to get a move on, bro, because I'm not trying to make this shit go for an hour. Next up, Terrence McKinney. Again, just hoodlum. For some of these, I don't even have to spend time, but, like, McKinney's hood, I guess. It's probably not, but, like, as in, I'm just saying, like, the black guys with the tattoos, you know, they probably have commit a few crimes here or there. They've probably commit, like, an armed robbery or something. Terrence McKinney, yeah, you're fitting in the hood tier. Again, I think I actually switch up. This is future recording because I record the screen first and then do the audio afterwards for some reason. So I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just making my life difficult. But Terrence McKinney, I might switch these 2 hood tiers. You know, I could have made a third. There's that many fucking fighters that look like the type to go to jail. But anyway, let's move on. Next up, who's this kid here? What? Khalil Roundtree. I actually have to look at my screen. I'm like fucking blind. Yeah, I don't know. Roundtree, black guy, tattoos. He's going in this tier. Anyway, let's move on. Ian Gary is up next. I don't need to say more. Sit down. Shut up. And fucking make me a bitch. Ian Gary is getting bad things done to him if he goes to jail, bro. He's would you mind giving Layla a go? Like Ian's gonna, I don't know what's going on with Ian Gary. Like, guards, could you let me wife in? They're like, Ian, you get 5 minutes of time talking to a loved one. Could you let her in, please? I need Khalil to have a turn. I don't know, Ian Gary. I don't know what the fuck the guy's doing. Anyway, let's move on. Next up, top tier, Dricus du Plessis. I'm so on here. Dricus du Plessis would be the perfect prison guard, dude. Whatever that means. I don't know. I can't, like, Dricus, my mind is flooding with just the thoughts of Dricus du Plessis as a prison guard and what he would be doing to these prisoners. The mental abuse that he would have put them through. Like, I don't know, like, they're gonna say the crime or some shit that they've committed or something, I don't know, or like, hit and run, or like, would have, like, so that someone totaled their car and killed their family members or some shit, and then he'll just like bring up their dead mum or something. I don't know. Yeah, I can't even try and do a Drickus impression because it's just gonna sound shit because I'm just laughing right now. But like, yeah, I'm so on here. Drickus du Plessis, as a prison guard would actually be so peak. I can't lie. Let me know in the comments if this is a I want you guys to, by the end of this video, if you watch the whole way through, which you should because I put effort into this shit, tell me the top like 5 or 10 that you think are the most accurate. Or out of the ones I have in the top tier, actually, for the enforcement tier, tell me like the top 3 of like which are the which 3 would make the best prison guards. Anyway, let's move on. Next up, who's this? Cody Durden. Yeah, Cody Durden's just one of those little. He'd be just the little one, you know. There's the bigger guys of the group, you know. There's the real ones, and then Cody Durden's just kind of there trying to fit in, just needs protection. You know, there's always those guys that kind of just flock to the leaders of the group. They're the smaller, scrawny guys. You know, Cody Durden, he's got some base takes to go around, so I back him to fit in just a little bit down to the bottom sort of tier of the Aryans, you could say, I guess. Anyway, let's move on. Next up, Alexander Volkov, again, Russian dude. You kind of get the vibe now, so this video might get a little bit boring. I'll try and keep it interesting, but like, a lot of these are just going to be the same thing. Big Russian dude. I could see Volkov low-key being like the leader of like the Russians in prison somehow. Because like, he's not, obviously he's the tallest, but he's not like the real big jack guy. Like, he's the kind of more slenderish guy. He's just there, doesn't talk much, and then, you know, Volkov and Mirzakhanov and shit, they're the henchmen. You know, anyway, let's move on to the next fighter. Next up, Brandon Moreno. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but I promise, man, I'll get second someday, man. Brandon Moreno's going to be fishing for scraps, bro. This guy's getting his food taken, look, I'm not going to lie, but I will put him, like, size-wise victim, but I feel like he would have the backup, you know. He Mexicans individually, I don't know, but like, you put them all together, you put them in a group, those motherfuckers are something to fear, you know. You know, Ice should be careful. Ice picks them off one by one, you know. They don't come in and get a whole group all at once, type shit. Anyway, let's move on. Next up, this kid is Jamal Hill. Yeah, Jamal Hill, you know, he'll fit in with the hoodlums, you know, he'll fit in with that group. Do I need to say much more? I don't think so. Let's move on. Kai Kara France. Is he next? Oh no, I bugged it. Anyway, sorry, Lerone Murphy, who cares about him? But Kai Kara France as well. Lerone Murphy's just going to be the same, literally just Leon Edwards 2.0. That's why I put him in here. I was going to make another tier list separate for just like the European migrants type shit. You know, I was going to call it like Africa FC or something. But the tier list would have literally been a square if I put another row. So I don't think that would have worked. But Kai Kara France, yeah, you're doing your little weird tongue thing all the way to the jail cell, kid, you know. I don't know how well Kai's faring in prison. He'll try and act tough, he'll try and fit in with the group, and everyone's going to be like, we ain't taking this guy. Like, you're on your own, kid. Anyway, okay, tough life for Kai Kara fans. I've loved seeing all these memes just trolling the fuck and just clowning him post 317, because he set himself up for it. If he hadn't been doing all this bullshit and shoving the fact that he's Maori, like 2% Maori down our throats for the last fucking month, in the build-up to this fight, no one would have cared. But because he did that, and he fucking got smoked immediately and had no success in the fight, yeah, you're gonna get clowns, kid. Anyway, let's move on. Next up, back up to the top tier, Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler is an unlikable fuck, meaning he would be a great prison guard. Some of these people would be like kind of funny, and I would like support the dickheadedness of just being a cunt. Michael Chandler will just be really fucking annoying, and no one would like him, which makes him a great prison guard again. See you at the top. He would try and give motivational speeches to the prisoners. He would try and like turn them around. There'd be some dude who's in there for like killing his baby mama or some shit. And he'd try to give him a motivational speech like, turn your life around. I'll see you at the top. I'm expecting you to get out of here, and when I do, and when you do, I want to see you in rehab, kid. Like, I don't know. Chandler's just gonna be on his weird shit. Who knows what he's doing? I used to adopt kids like you. If I'd adopted you, you would have never turned out like this. Like, Chandler's going to be on all sorts of stuff. Anyway, let's move on. Next up, Robert Valentin. An honourable mention, if you know, you know. I don't even know if Valentin is like that, but I'm assuming he is. He looks like it. So, I have faith. I have faith. We will be rooting for Valentin to fraud check Atiba Gautier. I don't know, but he's probably going to get slapped. But now, Valentin, Gustafsson, Strickland, like, Strickland would low-key be the odd one out. Like, Strickland would low-key be, like, less less welcome in the group, because he's not real Aryan. He's just like follows the belief system. But you know, he ain't genetically from that region. You know. Anyway, though, let's move on. Or if you go way back, yeah, but like, because all these Americans that are proud of their rich history are all just colonized English people, just colonial Englishmen, where your fucking government just forgot, your former government just didn't know how to run a colony and just were retarded, and that's the only reason why you ever cared to get independence. But you know, America, real rich history, lasted all of 250 years or whatever it is. Anyway, though, let's move on to the next tier. I really need to get through some of this because this video is, I'm trying to get to bed. It's almost 3 a.m. and we need to skim through this. So Roman Kopylov, Russian, fits the bill. Chito Vera, Ecuadorian Cartel, fits the bill. Who's that? That's Torres Finney. Torres Finney is like the most prison motherfucker ever. Like, Torres Finney is the overly juiced bodybuilder looking motherfucker that just kind of lurks around and is retarded and does nothing. But he's just the muscle of the group, you know. Next up, Derek Lewis. Yeah, Lewis is just the kind of funny comedic. Lewis is the funny comedic relief black guy in like any fucking movie that they have, because they're incapable of creating like a unique cast. But no, Derek Lewis in prison for sure would fit. Colby Covington, yeah, you're getting bitched. Like, Colby, you ain't fitting it. I know some people are gonna be like, Colby goes in with the clan group. No. Colby ain't getting accepted. Colby's too much of a Karen for that, bro. Like, I know Strickland complains a bit too, but I think Strickland did kind of fit himself in there easier. Colby ain't connected like that. Colby would be more friends with the guards, which would then make him, they'd probably want to get him killed. Like everyone else in prison collectively. Every other group would all put aside their differences just to fucking exterminate Colby Covington's existence. Anyway, though, let's go back up to the top tier. Up, Conor McGregor. Now, I know people are gonna think like, nah, bro, Conor would be in jail, he'd be a prisoner. Nah, he wouldn't. I'm just saying, like, if we're ignoring the actual history, like, personality-wise, first of all, which group is he gonna fit in with? He's not hanging out, like, if you want to create another group, that's cool. I don't see Conor being, like, real close mates with, like, all these guys in the clan tier. He ain't hanging out with all the Russians, he ain't hanging out with the cartel, he ain't hanging out with the hood. And Conor's not, like, a victim. So, like, he creates victims. More chubby women, yes. So I don't think he's going to find his type in prison, you know. He might have to settle for fucking Kelvin Gastelum. That's foul. But I genuinely think personality-wise, Conor is a guard. Like, Conor is a prison guard. He enjoys being a cunt. He enjoys tormenting other people. He would fit in very well as a prison guard, you know. He would just make fun. Mate, the fuck are you looking at, you little bum? It's fucking solitary with you, you little fool. That'll fucking teach him, yeah? Don't mess with the double champ. Like, Conor's just gonna... anyone who looks at him, anyone who's doing anything, he'll just torment them. He'll just start beating a fucking prisoner, and they'll be like, you can't do that. It's like, I'll do what I want. You'll do what you're told. Conor's just going to be running fucking shop in jail as a guard, just tormenting everyone. Let's move on, though, to the next fighter. Next up, we've got Dustin Poirier. I don't know, maybe I'm bugging some. I need to check, but we have to check this. Poirier? We need to check this guy. He racist? No, but Poirier, he looks like the kind of guy who would, if he went to jail, like... Because I know some shit about, like, he was kind of a dickhead when he was younger. Like, he was, like, a bit troubled kid or something. I don't know, he was up to no good. I get vibes that if this dude was in prison, he would immediately blend right in with... Like, I know he's probably trains with a bunch of people, so he'd be... But, like, I'm talking, like, this personality pre-fighting Poirier gives me vibes of a fucking skinhead, like some dude that would... What do you think the buzz cut's for, you know? Gives me the vibe of someone who would be in that kind of group in prison. Anyway, let's move on. Next up, we got Peter Yan. Again, I'm skimming through these. Russian, again, he's going in that tier. Daniel Zellhuber. I didn't think you'd be seeing a Daniel Zellhuber mentioned in this video, did you? Anyway, he's going in the cartel tier. Cedric Dumas. Let me tell you about this kid. This kid's badass. This kid takes up 0.2% of the UFC roster, and he's committed 12% of the crimes. He's committed 74% of the violent crimes. Kid's a savage. Cedric Dumas and John Jones are going fucking band for band, hood for hood, crime for crime, on thug for thug, you know, on black for black, you know. They're going at it for who can be the biggest UFC criminal, you know, who can have the most charges on their record by the time they're done. The thing is, Dumas has actually been, like, officially charged with shit. Jones has just had a bunch of like accusations and a bunch of shit that he's definitely done, but just hasn't actually like officially been processed for. But Dumas is putting everyone on game. You know, you guys got to step your game up. You know, McKinney, Bobby Green, you'll want to act hood. Look to Dumas. He really about that life. You know, he needs money. Moicano says he needs money. Moicano clearly ain't need money. He ain't got enough money for... He's got... Maybe he does need money because he couldn't buy a fucking elliptical or some shit to do some cardio. But Dumas needs real money. Man was hiding in a dog crate after robbing someone's house. This kid's about that life. Kid's a fucking badass. We're giving him 50 grand for the fight of the night bonus. Him versus the police officers. It was a fucking absolute war. Anyway, let's move on to the next fighter. Next up, we got Joaquin Buckley. Joaquin Buckley, you know, he talks real hood. You know, I hate Israel Adesanya, but he is kind of true with what he said. Like, Joaquin Buckley, like, bro, just tone it down a little bit, you know, like, you don't really, like, I don't know. Joaquin Buckley's voice does get a bit annoying at times, but he's chill. So I do like Buck. He'd be alright in prison, I feel like. Like, Buckley would kind of make some friends. He'd be kind of alright with everyone. He'd be like the one guy that's like the sort of peacemaker between the groups, I guess. I could see that, you know. Everyone's like trying to beef and shit, and Joaquin Buckley, like, just behind the scenes is low-key just kind of chill with everyone. Just like, alright, relax. You know, I reckon Buckley would be alright. Let's move on, though, to the next fighter. Alright, fuck's sake, this thing's being retarded. Next up, though, Michael Morales. If you've seen the videos going around, Michael Morales is a little bit zesty. Kid's a bit fruity. So, you know, I was gonna put him in the Cartel tier, but then I realized, and I was like midway, like, through doing this video, I was like, hang on, I gotta change this shit. Michael Morales is zesty. Like, this kid's Talbot maxing, you know. Him and Talbot going zest for zest, you know. So I'll put him in this tier. Let's move on, though, to the next fighter. And we're back up to the top tier. Ilia Topuria. Again, Ilia is just the perfect personality to just torment people, to just be a cunt. Like, everyone would hate him, and it's like... Because that's the thing. All the other fighters and shit, like, hate Ilia. They can't do fuck all about it, because he knocks them all out. Like, in prison, all the prisoners would hate this dude, but they could not do shit, because he would just fucking... yeah, solitary for you, kid, you know, it's just like, yeah, what are you gonna do with Ilya as your fucking officer? Anyway, let's move on. Nate Landwehr, again, kind of just rednecky about that American white boy, you know, country, I guess, Bryce Mitchell-esque vibe, you know what I mean. Next up, Bogdan Gushkov, again, a real henchman, kind of Russian type. I'm trying to think out of this group so far, who's like the leader. Low-key, I could see Jan being the leader. Jan's the leader, and then he's the smallest of the group, but he's just like got them all petrified from, like, he's got some backstory or some shit. Like, he's got all their family members like held hostage outside of prison, so everyone is like forced to protect. Like, is that not the vibe you get if all these Russian dudes were in a group in prison? Low-key, I feel like Jan would be the dude to like be having everyone's like families in captivity or some shit, and have like abducted their wives and children, and so everyone's like doing whatever he says and just protecting Peter Yan in jail. Anyway, I don't know what these hypotheses, what these fucking random assumptions are. Anyway, though, let's move on. Next up, Manuel Torres, Mexican, fucking, I don't know, enough said. I'm not being very creative with this Mexican tier. Kevin Holland, 4570. He's for sure going in this tier, or either hood tier. Again, the hood tiers are interchangeable. If someone's trying to be like, bro, obviously these guys are more hood than these guys, or these guys would beat these guys in prison, I don't fucking care, dude. I just split them into groups because there were too many of them. There's even more that I left out. I couldn't even fit all the people I wanted to on this tier list because there's only room for 56 people if you do a 7-row list. Anyway, though, let's move on. Jacoby Smith, another black guy. Sean O'Malley. Yeah, O'Malley, Samey, and Gary vibes. He's asking if he can get his wife for his... I don't even know if it's his wife. Let his girlfriend let in to let the other boys have a go, you know. O'Malley's not doing anything. No one is scared of O'Malley in prison. Like, he's getting tossed around. Anyway, let's move on. Next up, Alvin Hines. This guy just looks like a prison officer. Now, I thought there was some shit that came up the other week or whatever, because everyone's like loving Alvin Hines, and then there was some shit like, I don't know, committed a bunch of crimes in his past. Who knows? So maybe he would also be in that white boy tier, in the clan tier, you know. I could see him going that way. But also, he just looks like an officer. He looks like a prison warden. I don't know, that's just a vibe Alvin Hines gives me. JDM's up next. JDM's for sure racist with the boys. Like, JDM says it harder with the boys, like, with the lads at the pub, like, for sure, 100%. No information to that whatsoever, but that's just an assumption. Anyway, next up, Jan Blachowicz. Yes, shut up, I know he's not Russian. European, This is this is just the European white Chads tier, you know. The fucking mafia, Russian mafia tier, you know, European mafia. Anyway, next up, Nate Diaz, Cartel. I don't know. I'll just put him in here. He'd probably fit in the rounds, like he'd be in the hood tier, I guess, as well. But Diaz is doing his thing, because that's the tier that Morales was gonna be in, and then I realized that the Morales is like probably in the bottom tier with Talbot and shit, so I had to move him and replace him with Diaz, I guess. Anyway, who's next? Let's move on. Next up, we've got Charles Johnson, another black guy. Yeah, I don't know. Next up, Montel Jackson. Now, if you heard Montel Jackson's voice, he's probably closer to victim status, but I'll trust him to kind of lock in and, you know, deepen the voice, you know, just Tyrese Halliburton maxing, you know, Carl Anthony Towns maxing, just switch up the voice when you need to. Because that man sounds zesty as fuck. I don't know if you ever heard Montel Jackson talk. Sounds like he's getting bummed. Like, I can't lie, he sounds gay as hell, but in a good way, YouTube admin. That's a gay means happy. But anyway, let's move on down to the bottom tier. Israel Adesanya, Gisrael, you know, pink hair, nails, potentially interested in men. Who knows what's going on with Izzy, but yeah, I don't know. Izzy's giving me vibes of, he ain't fitting in with like the hood tier, and he ain't getting it with anyone else. So Izzy's on his own. Izzy's kind of in that weirdos group that kind of just gets targeted because they have no backup, because, you know, in prison, no one person goes after one other person individually. It's like your group goes after one person, and that one person is usually not part of a group when they're getting targeted. Maybe my knowledge of prison is exaggerated or just clouded from reality TV shows and shit. But I don't know. Tell me if I'm bugging, though, in the comments. Let's move on, though, to the next tier. We've done well here, because I thought this was going to take way longer. We're skimming through this shit, a few of them. Drew Dober's a prison warden for sure. Dober's too much of a Chad to actually end up in prison. He would just be an officer, like Sergeant Dober. I'm cooking with that. Anyway, let's move on. Brass Mitchell, brother. Again, he fits in with the Strickland tier. He's kind of like the Make-A-Wish kid of the group. Him and Cody Durden are like the ones that sort of be kind of fending for themselves. Not really, but like they kind of got to prove themselves to the group, you know. But Bryce Mitchell would for sure be in there with his takes based as fuck, you know. He'll be spreading the information, you know. He'll be educating his own way of educating, you know. Anyway, though, let's move on to the next tier. Next up, we got Mateusz Rebecki, whatever the fuck the kid's name is. Yeah, again, like bald dude with a beard. Bald European dude with a beard. Fits the bill. Next up, though, Yair Gulon. Low-key, I could have done, like, just, like, all... If there was enough actually good Mexicans on the roster, which there's not, hence why, you know, their no-check card's gonna end up with fucking Michael Morales probably as the feature fight, because they don't have their own fighters. But... And Diego Lopez, I don't think, is actually ethnically Mexican. So, yeah, ethnic Mexicans, they don't have a lot of hope. So, if they did have more, I was going to do a second tier, and it would be like the battle of, like, the cartel battles, you know, cartel wars, you know, Lopez on one side, Yair on the other. But just because there's not actually enough good Mexican fighters, like, what do you want me to do? Talk about Jesus Aguilar? Like, I mean, I could. Jesus Aguilar and fucking... like, all these random flyweight unranked guys that Tyra's run through. Like, that's... If you want to name all the... Like, name Tyra's resume, and you've named half the Mexicans on the roster. Guaranteed. Anyway, though, let's move on, though, to the next fighter. Next up, Danny Barlow. Again, another black guy, you know, that wants to act more hood than he is. And then Jeff Neal as well is going to go there. And then to round out the tier list, last up, who else but Johnny Jones? Now, I know some of you guys will be like, nah, bro, Jones would run prison, dude. And, like, maybe he would, because, like, the fighting aspect of it probably makes a difference. But, like, I'm talking, like, again, like, personality-wise, John Jones is, like, a victim. Like, John Jones's personality is very victim-like. He acts like a victim. He acts like he's got some fucking demons that just control what he does, and he's some poor soul that's just trying to be good. And it's like, bro, you're not fooling anyone. You're a scumbag. And you've never tried to be a good person in your life. Like, but then he acts like a victim, and he wants sympathy, and he goes on these little fucking social media tantrums like a woman. Like, who goes on that many Twitter rant sessions just, like, venting about all this bullshit that no one cares? It's like motherfuckers that use Instagram notes, bro. It's like, get a grip, bro. Like, no one cares. Like, Some motherfucker leave an Instagram note, bro, like, don't call me. It's like, I wasn't planning on, kid. Like, I wasn't planning on it. Like, John Jones just be venting on Twitter. It's like, buddy, are you an emotional fucking 45-year-old menopausal woman? Like, get a grip of your life. You have a wife and kids. What are you doing? And we all know Jones's interest. So maybe he's the one given. You know, maybe he's the giver, not the catcher. But or the pitcher, not the catcher, I should say. Sorry. But also, I just feel like Jones is probably getting bummed if he goes to prison. Like, he's just getting ganged up on, and they would have hate him because he's a fucking tard. Anyway, though, let's move on. That is the end of the video, guys. If you guys bet on the over 40 minutes, you lost that bet, because I somehow managed to keep a 56-person tier list under 40 minutes. So shout out to me. I'm just the best. Like, I might be the best time management creator on YouTube, because I do be spending, how many, like, Lucas be dropping like generational fucking yap sessions, but like, apart from Guru, who will drop some in-depth fucking hour-long interview reaction, it's like me, Guru, and Lucas, and you won't find people dropping more consistent, like, lengthy videos, like long format videos. Bedtime doesn't, Kenny doesn't, Hopper doesn't, Harry doesn't, Harry 101 doesn't, you know, I don't know, Rigo doesn't, Rigo's a fucking spastic, Anarchy doesn't, Anarchy's are just good, short, sweet to the point, like, good video, not sweet to the point, but like, good, like, doesn't yap much, he keeps everything, everything in Anarchy's videos is shit that needs to be there, not just some bullshit of me yapping about, like, fucking how a fighter would be as a prison guard. But anyway, I think you guys like the longer form videos anyway, not like, some of you don't like the hour ones, but about 30 to 40 minutes I think is a good length for a video. Anyway, thank you for watching. 15k, I really appreciate you guys. It's been difficult with this YouTube bullshit, because in case you didn't know, I'm still not fucking monetized. AdSense is refusing to let me do anything with my channel. It's just fucking absolute raping the shit out of my fucking income source. I'm living off fast food wages, bro. It would be really nice to get some YouTube money. I tried Patreon for a bit. That shit don't work either. Couldn't even connect that. So it is what it is, dude. I'm just doing videos for the fun of it at the end of the day. But if any of you guys have any ideas of like how I could somehow manage to get money from YouTube or streaming or anything, let me know, because none of this shit seems to be working for me. So it is what it is. We still be pumping out videos. Just don't expect daily shit. That's the last thing I'll say. I'm probably not going to be going daily content. Like, it'll be every 2 days. I think I'm going to kind of stick to that going forward. Maybe after a pay-per-view the first couple of days, if we got lots to discuss, I'll drop like daily for a little bit. But during off weeks like this, I'm not pumping out daily videos for fucking Tallis and Teixeira as Derek Lewis. So anyway, I really appreciate all of you guys. Hope you enjoyed. Finally can get off my ass about this tier list. And yeah, top comment within reason. Obviously, I'm not doing some meat sizes tier list bullshit that the same motherfucker's been suggesting for the last 2 years. I'm not doing that. But at 20k, top comment, whatever on this video, top comment, I'll do it 20k. So yeah, peace out, guys. See you later.